Hey guys, I'm back with my latest DIY project. This is a gate that I recently built, so it looks like a wood gate, but if you look on the backside, it actually has a complete metal frame. Flush against the house here, flush against that fence, very tight along the bottom here, and it opens up with this latch right here. Let's go ahead and open it, and I'll show you the backside. Okay, so here's the backside of the gate. The main support system here is this metal pipe that's cemented in the ground. This is a 4.5 inch pipe. It's 9 feet long, so it's 3 feet in the ground, 6 feet above the ground. And then I'm using one of these farm gates here as my metal support. And then what I did is I attached the wood to that. So I'll go ahead and show that process later in the video, but I wanted a gate that wouldn't sag over time and that would span this big of distance without having any issues. And so this is something that I came up with. I didn't find anything out there that was kind of a DIY project. They had a lot of fences you could buy with a metal frame that was this big, but it was like thousands of dollars. So just thought this video would give you guys some ideas on how to build a wide 10-foot spanning fence. Go ahead and show you a little bit closer here. I have a wheel on here, and I have a latching system so you can open and shut the gate from the front or back, and it even has a locking feature. I know I'll get a few questions about how this gate looks unlevel. The metal part is level and the wood itself is level with the concrete, and so the concrete slopes off, and so I wanted the same gap along the bottom of the concrete, which is about a little over a ½ inch, so you can see that the top slopes down to the edge. So from the front, you don't notice these lines. It looks natural because it flows with the level of the concrete. And on the back, you notice that you have this metal gate with these existing lines because this is a recycled fence. So when I paint it, you probably won't even notice that at all. I'll go ahead and show you the build process. Kind of shorten down the video to make it as useful as possible, but here's the gate. Hopefully you guys enjoy the build. So here's a closer look at the raw pipe material that I used. This is 4.5 inches in diameter, around a 1/4 inch thick. I had to buy it in a 15-foot length, and so I have the rest of it sitting here. So I cut it to be 9 feet long, and it came with a cap that you welded on, so I welded on the cap, sanded it, primed it, painted it, and that's what you see in the main build of the project. Okay guys, I thought I'd show you what I ended up doing for the hole and the foundation for the post. So I just dug the hole using one of these hole digging shovels, and then I took some 2x4s and I just roughed it in so it'd be level with the existing concrete. So basically down there is a 36-inch hole, and then I have this just to give a little bit extra support, and so water will shed off. It is slanted outward, so water shouldn't be sitting on the pipe and allow it to rust. The pipe is primed and painted. So here's a closer look at the hole. Once again, just basic 2x4s for the concrete frame. And then I'm just gonna, once this all cures, I'm gonna take the wood off and then backfill with rocks. Hey guys, well, it's been a couple days, almost a week actually. So I took the forms off and the concrete's pretty sturdy now. It's had a chance to cure a bit. You can see I put the rocks back, and here's my pole. So my next step is to drill holes. So what I'm going to do is, these are about 5/8 in diameter, so I'm going to mark and drill 2 holes for this metal fence to mount. What I'm doing is I'm going to pull that fence forward, use that same wood, and put it here. So just wanted to have my fence more forward. One thing to note, it appears the bottom mount is completely welded in, so it doesn't have any adjustability. But coming to the top mount, it looks like it has the ability to unscrew and tighten. So what I'll do is I'll measure this distance, and then if anything happens, messes up or anything, I can adjust this top hinge to level the gate and to rotate it, things like that. Wish me luck. This is the most nerve-wracking part, is drilling holes into this 4.5 inch, 1/4 inch thick pipe. Okay, well, I got the bolts drilled through, and I have the gate hanging. I read online that if it's going to have a lot of weight, you want to have both bolts up like this. So here's a closer look at the bolts. These are this is a 5/8 inch hole that I had to drill through. That was by far the hardest part. I used this larger drill here. And then I just ground off the remaining bolts. Here's a closer look at the bottom. It's nice and tightened up, so I'll show you how easy it moves. So just basically just swings by itself. Well, not by itself, but very easily. And that's where it's straight, right there. So last step is to, I'm going to mount two cedar boards that go completely across using, I think, U-bolts. And then I'm going to just put cedar slats into that, so it'll appear to be a wood fence. But behind is a large pole and the metal frame, and it just slides open, and it's not going to sag after 2 years of the wood going through all this weather. So I wanted something that got completely out of the way, so I can bring whatever I want in here. So hey guys, I'm here at the next step. You can see that I've attached these wood pieces, so I'm going to screw my vertical fence post or planks to here and here. So looking at the gate a little bit closer, I used an existing, basically I'm taking down that fence and I'm moving it to this. So it was made out of cedar, so these are just cedar 2x4s I cut to go around this. And I'm using these really cool 1.5 inch EMT brackets. So I had to bend these open slightly with pliers, and then I used a lag screw to screw in. So it's fairly cheap because I'm using the existing wood, and it was $10 in hardware. So 10 of these brackets, 10 of these screws was $10 at Home Depot. And yeah, let's go ahead and get the planks on. So I added the wood to the fence, so now it looks like a standard wood fence. But on the backside there's a metal frame, so pretty strong. No sag. Right here you can see where the top of the metal pole is there. It's completely hidden because I have 6-foot planks in front of it. And it's completely flush against the house here. I'll show you how I open it. I have this metal bar latching system. Pull up and over. And then you just open the gate. So here's the gate standing back a little bit. So it's really easy to pull it shut because it's all pivoting on that. So I'll go ahead and show you the other modifications I did since the video. So I had to have a way to support it so when it was sitting it wouldn't be completely on the bolts, so I welded a wheel down here. I'll show you that in a second. And I also came up with this latch system so you could open it from both sides and lock it. So this system here is a 5/8 inch hole. I drilled this out with a masonry bit, 5/8 inch. This is a 3/4 inch hollow pipe, and this is a 1/2 inch pipe that I cut and then put a T on it. Well, I cut off a section and then welded it on this way, so it sticks through the gate and is able to grab. And then when you push it down, it latches the gate and holds the gate in place. This 3/4 inch pipe is welded on 3 sections. And then I wanted a way to lock it, so what I did is I just welded this flat bar here and then welded this flat bar here. This one's so long because I wanted to make sure it was strong enough, so I welded it to 4 different sections. And right there you can see I can put a lock through, so that would keep this from coming up, so I could lock my gate from being opened from the backside. So just to move it, you just pull it up and over. And I wanted a way to keep it from falling down and dragging because it's really loud when it drags. So I took the wood panel off, marked where I thought this would go, and then drilled it out with a jigsaw. So now this just rotates and comes down. All I did here was I took this same plate. This was 3 feet long. I took some of that and I welded it to the top of the wheel, and I put 3 of them together because that was the proper height, and then I welded that to the pipe here. So this is just a gray paint that I had around, so I primed it with self-etching metal primer and then sprayed it with this gray paint. So now what happens is the gate sits on this wheel when it's fully in place. So not all the weight is on these two brackets. So I wanted a way so it wouldn't sag over time or bend those brackets, because 99% of the time it's sitting in this position. I think this is a 3.5-inch wheel I got from Harbor Freight, and I just welded it on there. Super cheap. So yeah, there's the wheel system I added, and then the locking system. So I feel like this locking system, it's very simple, but just kind of what I came up with in order to lock the gate in place, and it's really easy to use. And then you just drag it open, and then the wheel goes off the ground because eventually the concrete's sloped. Here goes the wheel, and right there. The wind's blowing a little bit here, but yeah, just lock it in place. Then I can just throw a lock on that and no one can open it from the front side. Well guys, that basically sums up the video. I just wanted to get this out there so you guys could have an idea on how to do a 10-foot span like this, so it wasn't using just wood. Parts list here, this metal cattle gate was about 89 bucks. The 15-foot section of 4.5-inch bare steel pipe with the cap was about, because I had to buy it in a 15-foot section, it was about $120. If you get it in a 10-foot section, it might be cheaper. The hardware for mounting all the wood was $10. The wheel was about $5 at Harbor Freight. The 3/4-inch pipe, 3 feet long, was about $10 at Home Depot. The 1/2-inch solid rod, 3 feet long, was about $10 at Home Depot. So that's basically everything that I used on the project that didn't already have laying around. The wood itself is recycled from a fence behind me. Just push the fence forward. And the concrete, yeah, it was about, it was 3 bags of 60-pound concrete, and it was just the regular stuff, not the Quickcrete, and it worked out great. Anyway guys, give me a thumbs up if you like the content. Subscribe to the channel for more DIY projects like this. And thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.